Welcome to Tales of Initiative. I'm your Thirsty Game Master Matt at Crossoff on Twitter, and you can find my stuff at day20.info. But before we dive into what matters most, a thirsty sword lesbian's tale, let's introduce our equally thirsty cast. To my that way, Joe!
Hey guys, I'm Joe. I'm going to be playing Julie tonight, who is a little bit feral and having a lot of issues, but we're going to work it out.
Tiny bit feral. Billy.
Hi, I'm playing Jesse. You've been for other episodes. We know you by now. You've seen it. It's a wild time. Enjoy.
She's got sunflowers and hopes and dreams and hatred for glory. It's all great.
Damn right.
Sam, what you got going on?
I'm Sam. I'm playing Beal. Beal has a lot going on at the minute, but we're gonna get through it together. It's gonna be great.
Yes, it is. And Danny.
Hey, I'm Danny. I'm playing Abigail, and she is a sword that is having so many emotions.
A ghost sword with emotions. I love this
so
game.
Many.
It's so good. Dustin, what's happening?
Dustin, I play Cassandra Edwards, and she is discovering that all is fair in love and war.
Yeah,
and this is
definitely
a lovely war.
It's a lovely war. Alrighty. Before we jump in, I want to thank our sponsor, Raven and Riddle Dice. Go check them out on social media at Raven and Riddle, and also on their website, ravenandriddle.com. The art you see tonight for all of our characters, which is in all of our nice little backgrounds here, other than mine. Mine is the book. The art you see tonight is made by Sam from Raven and Riddle. So if you like what you see, go grab some custom dice and custom art for your game. And finally, if you want to follow us, check out our social media at Tales of Initiative, or join us here on the show by joining our Discord. We run weekly games and talk about TTRPGs with everyone, and we've got some great holiday content coming up, including, speaking of the holidays, our merch store is up. Our official Tales of Initiative merch store at talesofinitiative.com/shop, where you can get some Tales of Initiative shirts, mugs, and other merch for the holiday season, or just treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. Treat yourself. Before we jump into game, setting the scene, I'm pretty sure almost everyone advanced last round. So does anyone have anything super cool they want to talk about? If you want to save your advances, any new moves or reveals like that for during game, that's cool too. But is there anything that you wanna say right now?
I took a move from the Devoted playbook, which is super exciting.
Yes, I love the Devoted playbook. Nope, this way. Lovely, iconic Devoted right here. I will figure out. There.
That one. There you go.
There she is.
That
one. Wow. Cool.
I'm leaning into the ghostliness of Abigail. I took a move from the Spooky Witch playbook.
Heck yes. Love some spooky vibes. Love some ghosty ghosts. We are pirate hunting ghosts. Nope. Ghost hunting pirates after all.
Pirate hunting ghosts.
I guess Abigail's both. Abigail's also a pirate hunting ghost, but she's also a ghost hunting pirate.
You can be both.
You gotta
Don't
be
let
both.
anybody tell you different.
No. This occupation fluid. Any other moves or any other cool advances before we get cracking?
I took a move from the Chosen playbook that we'll see here shortly.
Nice, love it.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know that I've used but one move this entire time so far. But
hey, we're gonna get there. It'll happen.
Other than lap dancing and stabbing people in the legs, which I don't know if that counts.
And those are great moves. Those are excellent moves. Alrighty. Shall we jump in? Do a little recap before we get too far in. Previously on What Matters Most, our Sapphic superstars had a legendary performance in The Songbird, everyone's favorite nightclub in the Gate. Unfortunately for them, the performance had a few unplanned guest stars in the form of Lady Beguila, her assistant Suzette, and Jesse's estranged father, Arnold Sinclair, who left a lasting impression in the form of some rather unfortunate metaphors. After words and blows were exchanged, and while most of the crew remained standing, Cassandra did find herself on her back beneath the subdued but surprising Suzette. Interesting twist. After some heart-to-hearts, including a tender, somewhat begrudging armistice between Jesse and Glory, the crew now stands ready. Your face. Every time we mention their name, I love it, Billy. It fuels me. The crew now stands ready to set out into the Thicclands proper, past the namesake gate. You have funding. You've got fresh spoils from Gale for their Battle of the Bands, and now you just need to meet up with this mysterious figure she's pointed you towards called Shepherd. Gale has given you directions and said that they'll be able to assist you in translation. Separate of your efforts to just get through the gate, Beal has also kind of had this little side plot happening between Beal and Cassandra with Tal'tal, one of the gatekeepers, who is having some problems with love, and has arranged a meeting. Of course, doesn't everyone have problems with love? And before we set in to resume what's happening with our heroes, let's do a quick mood change. The crew is settling in aboard the Strumpet, but the gate is not asleep. A block away from the Songbird, we see a reporter talking quickly into a vocoder. Cucker Tarleson on the scene of the Vulpine News Network reporting on violence and degenerate behavior in a local nightclub linked to possible supernatural activity. I spoke with Dick agents who told me that early intervention and prevention activities they are proficient in could have spared the club from all of this. The owner declined to comment on allegations that she has refused Dick services in the past. We move on from Cucker Tarleson to down the streets, the camera panning past the nightclub, where we see Glory sashaying from an alleyway and humming a song to himself, seemingly a little bit in better spirits after speaking with Jesse. We continue moving towards the dock. And right as we start to see the Strumpet, the camera banks left into a twisted corridor. The buildings go tall here and bend towards each other at the top, cloaking this area in shadow even in the middle of day. But here it is night, and we see a brightly lit, geometrically puzzling building marked The Hive. We pass into the door, back into a crowded, shrouded, smoky room, dimly lit by candles. Arnold Sinclair hunkers into the room, looking broken and weary. There are several figures in dark robes on the opposite side of the room, hunched over an odd book, and they turn to regard him. "You good?" says a man in a cool, cutting voice. "No, but it doesn't matter. We ready to go?" "No. The ship's been rescheduled." Well, he cuts Arnold off with a wave of his hand. "While you were off doing whatever the fuck you were doing, we were solving problems." Arnold stands quiet beneath the glare, clearly uncomfortable, but not having anything to say. Drawing its attention to us when we are so close. I don't have to tell you how dumb that is. But it doesn't matter. He gestures to one of the silent figures nearby. "We have what we need, and the ship is a formality." He looks to one of the robed figures and, in a whisper that shakes the room, says, "Say the words." The figure goes partially rigid beneath the cloak, turns to the book, and speaks. The sounds twist the air until, like a dowel pushed past its breaking point, the room snaps and goes dark. Footfalls and a confused male voice echo against walls, but not these ones. That group is gone. But we'll see them later. For now, we return to the Strumpet. It's morning, and unless anyone has something else in mind, I think the first place we find ourselves is in Cassandra's room. We see Suzette is pulling up her last stocking and staring at the floor, biting her lip a bit. I need to get back.
Are you sure, darling? You can stay. My offer still extends.
I know I can stay. I know. I want to. And you can see there's some effort to her movements, but she does look at you. She looks at Cassandra. She's wanting to shy away from this, but doesn't. I want to stay, but I know that if I don't do this the right way, as if there's a right way, if I don't do it at least the way I think I need to, I'm only going to regret it. And I don't want to regret anything about you.
I respect that. And I don't want you to regret anything either. I want you, if you join me, if you are really wanting to do this, that it will be of your own free will, with nothing but optimism and hope for what a future could be. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you know I love you. And I've never said that before. You don't have to say it back. It's okay. But
okay.
I want you to have something. And I'm just going to go... I'm sure I have in my drawer, like, an embroidered, like, scarf or kerchief kind of thing with, like, my family's, just, like, sigil, like, imprinted on it, like, embroidered in. And I want to give it to her, kind of like, one of those things that, that they do back in those days. So
yeah,
you give her that, just, this is a little token to remember me by, and to remember us by, until we're together again.
She takes it and looks at it and is, like, clearly struggling here. She just, like, gives a quick, like, dart in for a peck on your cheek.
I actually blush a little bit at that, at the innocence of it all, especially after everything that happened.
Yeah, she kind of notices the blush, and there's this little, like, moment where you can see her puzzling something out in her head very analytically, and then she's, like, nods, gathers up her like little book and, like, clipboard, and, like, tucks the scarf into an inner pocket of her jacket, and starts, like, heading towards the door very quickly, stops, and looks around and, like, I don't have anything to give back, but just have a good memory. And she, as she turns to leave the room, she gives a quick flip up of her rather modestly short skirt to flash you on the way out.
I hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave.
Cassandra, I think you sit there a little bit and just hear that noticeable click clack of heels as she scampers up the boat word for stairs up to the top deck to head back
Boat
out
word.
And boat word for stairs to rendezvous with Lady Beguila, who is waiting for her somewhere theoretically and hopefully not too pissed off. But we don't know what happens after that. Is anyone else doing anything morning routine? Is there anything you want to do before heading off to meet with Shepard? Beal, the meeting with Tal'tal, I would say could happen before or after Shepard. Totally up to you.
I think before, because she has first shift.
Okay. Yes.
So she's there super early, is my understanding of it.
Sure.
Fantastic. So yeah,
All
I
right.
think I'm up earlier and just, like, kind of running across the rooftops, doing the things that Beal does.
Emotional support from altitude.
Yes.
All right, so you're able to easily make your way over to the gatekeeper's kind of main building, and you see Tal'tal waiting there. She's just on shift, looking pretty normal.
Gonna drop down, not, like, on top of her because I don't want to scare her, but like, just no.
It seems to work for Cassandra, just dropping on top of random women.
It's fine. No, drop down, like, a couple streets away and walk in.
Sure. She greets you, like, immediately recognizes you. It's like, hello.
Hello. Lovely to see you. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing as okay as I can be. Yeah.
If you'd like to talk about it, that's part of what I'm here for.
I don't know what there is to talk about. I mean, not being rude to you. Just I'm still grappling with what the hell it is. What did you want to specifically meet about? I'm sorry. I've gotten lost in the chaos of everything. And is there something you needed?
No, I honestly just wanted to check in on you. I know you're having a bit of a hard time, and I just wanted you to know that there was someone who was unequivocally here for you and didn't have any other troubles.
Yeah. I'm. Do you
trying to make
Do you
up
think-
for the distress that we've caused you?
Yes, I understand, and I do appreciate that. Do you think that people should change for someone they care about?
I think there's a lot of qualifiers that go into that statement, and I think it depends on the situation, honestly. Sometimes no, sometimes yes, sometimes there's a meet in the middle. It depends on the person, depends on the situation. It depends on the chain.
Yeah. I like Jergy. I want him to be who I know he could be, who he was. I think he's gotten out in front of himself. And him again, this is not a thing about you. Him asking you and your friend to help, Cassandra, I think her name was. Him asking you to help between us when we only just met, I wasn't okay with that. And so we're on a break. Indefinitely.
I am. How are you doing with that? I mean, I understand it. I was uncomfortable with the entire situation all day long, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that if it makes you upset.
I don't know what it makes me. Honestly, I think I'm all here at work and I'm not even thinking about that right now. Right now, yes, but I'm too busy to be too worried about what it means. I just want I don't know. I don't know what I want.
And honestly, sometimes if you put that in the back of your mind and let your subconscious work on it, sometimes you can come to an answer more easily and less stressfully than forcing it.
Yeah.
And I think would you like my 2 cents? Because I don't want to burden you with advice if you're not interested in it.
I'm all ears.
If it's something that you have to force, I don't know how good it is. But I have very limited experience, and I'm just hoping that I'm right sometimes, honestly.
Thank you. And that's unfortunately kind of the message I gave him. Is I don't want it to be a constant struggle to make it what I want it to be. So thanks for sort of affirming that.
I think there's a line where, I mean, relationships are worth the work if they're worth the person, but there becomes a line where it's not worth it anymore, and I think that's a very personal and internal struggle that, I mean, I wish I could help you with, but I don't know him. I don't know much about. I just want you to feel supported.
Give me. You can either do emotional support if that's. I think you kind of, or you could do like a figure them out to possibly get some more information about what's happening here.
Beal doesn't have any like subliminal goals. Beal is here intentionally trying to be a good person and trying to support Tal'tal because this situation is wild And
Yup. That
Beal
is
just-
totally fair.
Beal hasn't had a ton of friends before, and she's just trying to. She's very open-heartedly trying to be herself in a way that is extremely clumsy.
Nice. I like it.
Basically. Yeah, so I'm gonna go
Um,
emotional support because I'm not trying to get information from her.
Cool. Yeah, get that emotional support.
What am I adding to that?
That is going to be either heart or spirit.
Okay, I have a +0 in both, so it's gonna be a 7.
7. That's still good. That is a mixed beat. I will say that they do open up to you. She opens up to you. It's not like there's no words that she really says. It's just this sort of like feeling that you get. You're used to reading people a little bit. You're maybe not used to connecting with people, but I think you are used to reading people. And
Yeah.
you get this idea that it's that sort of calm where if she was playing like poker, no matter what hand she has, she's okay riding it. Like she's fine. She's kind of in the pocket and content. And even if things aren't going to, even though she doesn't have a direction, she's at least fine moving with where the current's going. So I'll say that let me see here. I'm gonna say that this sort of she didn't have any conditions to clear or anything like that. But what I'll say is that they choose one, and they're going to choose to gain a little bit of insight. And I think that insight that benefits both of you is just this like really clean, nice, no strings attached. Ironic in this system, no strings attached. Good feel, good vibes between the two of you, and she kind of like you can see her like move this report off to the side on like some irregularities in the shipping stuff, and you get the sense that she's going to be watching y'all's back a little bit to make sure that things you don't have any problems on exit. And I will also say that this probably counts as that thing that reduces your feelings. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, hell yeah.
When you open up to someone whose regard matters to you, reduce your feelings by 2. It's not necessarily that you're opening up to her, but you're giving advice that's coming from a very personal place. So I think that counts for the purposes of this.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, fantastic.
So you are down to 1 on your feelings track. You're not about to explode beneath the mask.
Fantastic. Sorry, I was reading
All right.
something. Yeah.
Nope, no worries. Anything else anyone would like to do before meeting up with Gale's contact, Shepard?
I don't think Abigail sleeps necessarily, so
She is a ghost.
yeah, so I think she kind of just wanders around the ship with what's her name? Ika?
Yes, Ika, the little butterfly that you rescued from the Dick ship.
Yeah, and I think that she's just gonna talk to them.
Yeah.
Just try to get a little more information about what their life was, where they come from.
Sure. They are the way that you're communicating with them. It's kind of in these just like flashes of half emotion. It's not with words, just these sort of like experiences that they're sharing with you. And you get this sense of like the butterfly form that they're kind of like flitting around with in this like ghostly ethereal blue butterfly. It is that form to them is very spiritual and very like connecting to their previous life. You're seeing imagery of these bright colored like tents and like wooden buildings. There's this overwhelming sense of music and peace happening, and then like it's like when you're in the dream and there's no faces on anyone, but it's not in like a disturbing way. It's just you just like can't make out the details. You can't place anyone. Yeah, is there anything specific that you're trying to do? Is this a figure them out move? Is this an emotional support move? Or is this just more information about what you might be going towards?
I think it's a little of emotional support, but also just trying to figure out any more details of where we're going because we really don't know.
Sure. Yeah, give me an emotional support roll. Let's see how much you're. Even though this is kind of like halfway between there, but I want to see how well you're able to. This is less like how well you're able to emotionally support them, and more how strong of a connection you're able to forge, and how well you are at interpreting this. So go ahead and do emotional support.
Okay. That's an 8.
8, nice. And the way that this is going to work, let's say, gain insight from GM. So this is going to be she is gaining insight, but also you are gaining insight, where it is this simultaneous like exploration of thought. And there's this, you see that image of the village kind of fade away, and you're moving through a very tight, dense jungle. It doesn't feel oppressive though. It's not scary. It's just like, it feels like a maze almost. And when it opens up, you are in the middle of this valley, and there is this wide river, and on the other side of that river is this big, like, you're not sure if it's literally looks like this or if it is just the distortion of how you're perceiving it. This like glowing tree. This tree is just giving off luminous light and energy, and you can feel Ika wanting to get to that tree, desperate to get to that tree, and there's this brief flash of not this butterfly form, but of this sort of like amorphous, undefined humanoid form sitting near the tree with all of this field of unseen faces around, and this sort of like moment of intense waiting, and that waiting feeling feels like it's overwhelming and like snapped off as the vision ends, to where it's like that was the abrupt moment of that's the unresolved thing. This there's something to do with that tree, and they didn't get to do it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I think in this connection there's a little bit of back and forth. How's Abigail feeling about, this spirit with a past, this spirit with knowledge of not necessarily how they died, but at least the circumstances that left them stranded? Where are you feeling in your journey as an unseen?
I think Abigail feels sad for them. And just also really wants to help like them, but also in a way helping herself kind of come to grips with, because I don't think she's really come to grips with the fact that she is dead and in some other world, and I think she's been pushing that down, and this is helping this other unseens kind of helps her come to grips with the fact that she is one of them too.
Is there anything that Ika learns about Abigail's memories? Is there any memory that Abigail imparts?
I think a lot of it is just where she lived, just flashes of her apartment, the city, getting ready for that last Comic-Con, and being so excited about the costume that she made and going.
Yeah. Awesome. Back over to Jesse and Julie. Is there anything else we want to do before going to Shepard?
I've slept in. I have not.
You're recovering.
Fuck yesterday. Over it.
Yep.
Probably go and find Abigail as soon as she wakes up. And if Julie can't find Abigail, she's just going to sit in the closest sun spot and be a really lazy individual. Just be like in her own head a bit.
I think it's pretty easy to find Abigail. She's not hiding. She's walking around.
Cool. And it's not that Julie wants to instigate a conversation or anything. She's happy to talk. She's just not all too keen to be too far away from Abigail at the moment after what happened yesterday.
Yeah, I think Abigail feels kind of the same way, or definitely feels the same way. So I think once it's like Julie's Julie's usual wake up time, she'll head back over towards where the nice sunspot, because she knows that Julie will find it.
Okay. Morning.
Morning. Did you sleep all right?
Weird memory like dreams, but it was okay.
I get
you. Good walks and stuff. Good. It's really good. You feeling okay after yesterday? You didn't like get hurt or anything, right?
I mean, I don't know if I can get hurt, but it was still a little rough. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I should really like thank you properly, because I haven't really had anyone ever save me before. Usually kind of looking out for myself and trying to mind myself. So it's a bit of a weird experience yesterday, but it was okay if it meant, you were my hero at the end of it.
I mean, I'd probably say you were my hero too. But I always have your back. That's what I'm here for.
Likewise.
And I care about you a lot.
Yeah. I care about you too. It's just a lot of things happening all at once. But yeah. And like, if the opportunity presents itself, Julie would probably like try and take Abigail's hand. She's very definitely smitten after what happened.
Heck yes. Let's do a smitten move. So that is. Let's go to the Beast playbook. I love it. All the smittens. Let's see here. Sorry, I saw that the Beast, Truth of Heart and Blade. Every playbook in the game gets a special move for when they become smitten, and this one's called Smitten Kitten, which is just too cute. When you become smitten with someone, say why, give them a string, and answer this question: what have you done that you are sure they view as inappropriate?
Probably the kind of reckless disregard Julie had for other people's feelings and consideration when she first got away from the prince. Like, when she was first trying just to protect herself and just survive, she did a lot of things that she's not proud of in any way, and is ashamed of that. So like, that kind of disregard for people at that time in life is probably what she thinks Abigail would be ashamed of, or think of it as inappropriate, because Abigail is a very considerate person.
And is that why Julius smitten is Abigail's considerateness, or what has made you smitten?
She feels like Abigail not only put herself in danger for Julie, when Julie's normally the person protecting herself. It's the first time she's had a protector, the first time she's been the damsel in distress, so to speak. And like, Abigail didn't need to do that at all, and Julie doesn't see herself as worthy of that. So recognizing that someone else sees that in her is something that has completely gobsmacked her.
Excellent. We can take a quick peek at the Roll20 with all of our strings and stuff. We've got that is some excellent string accumulation, but also we've got the nice little smitten status between Abigail and Julie over there. Excellent. All
I think Abigail definitely, takes her hand and holds on tight.
And you can see Ika kind of flutters down onto Abigail's hand, and then like walks onto the still, because you're still at 4 feral, so you're still cat lady. Walks onto like the feral cat hand of Julie, and you can see Ika kind of like frizzles and takes on a little bit of that energy, and like the butterfly looks a little bit more like a wasp, and it's just like nestling into the fur, and then like wanders back over and like changes back to a butterfly, and is just like enjoying hanging out, and is enjoying. You can see that Ika clearly thrives on that like spiritual connection, on seeing people connected.
Would that count as emotional support?
With which direction? Abigail giving some emotional support to Julie,
Either
or
way.
Julie giving emotional support to Abigail?
Either way.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility of either way being worked there. What do y'all think? I'll leave it up to y'all. If you think there's a move to be made, then
What do you think? I mean, I think so.
I mean, Julie definitely feels supported by Abigail for sure, with everything that's going on, like in her own head at the moment. So, like, if Abigail was showing emotional support to Julie, I feel like even if Abigail wasn't intentionally showing it, Julie would still feel it. If you get what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down with that. Should I?
yeah,
Should I
roll it up.
Sweet. Okay. It's hard again. That's a 12.
That is a 12. So if they open up to you, they being Julie, if Julie opens up to you, they choose one, and you either choose one or take a string on them. And if they're smitten with you, they may choose an additional option. So Julie, you get to choose 2 because you are smitten with Abigail, and Abigail, you can either choose one or you can take a string on Julie. And I want to boost this a little bit. I got my generic strings I can spend. I'm going to spend a generic string to offer to Julie to, as part of your opening up, I want you to, I feel like Julie might be tempted, especially in like full feral form, your full id, you just act on instinct. As you're thinking about, these are the things that Abigail would not have wanted me to do, she maybe shares one of those, that darker half of her.
Okay.
And if you don't have to have that be the way that you open up. You can just say that you open up in another way. If you choose to have that be the way you open up, you're going to get an XP from my generic string.
Mm-hmm. So like, I really appreciate you staying by my side, because I've like, this is the first time I've stuck around. I've abandoned people before, and I'm not proud of leaving them behind to deal with situations I ran away from. So I really appreciate this.
Of course. I'm really glad that you're here.
Thanks. I'm really glad I'm finally here. And you too, and everybody, obviously, but
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, I'm really glad I'm here too. However way that happened.
yeah. Weird little kind of incestuous family, aren't we?
Maybe a little.
I love it.
I think I'm gonna take a string on Julie.
Cool.
Julie's
You
going to
get the
take a string as well, if possible.
Okay. Nice. And you get to do an extra one, Julie, for because Abigail rolled a 12, so you get to do, and since you're smitten, you get to do 2. So you could take a string. Gaining a string is not one of the options.
Ah,
You
What
can
are my options?
you can clear a condition, mark XP, +1 forward, or gain insight from the GM about something involving the two of you.
So I'll take 1 XP and gain insight from the GM, please.
Okay. Is there any specific problem that you are wanting to gain insight about?
Is there any other way, like if Abigail was to get closer to her own like acceptance of fate or anything like that, for that communication between her and Ika to be more clear or be closer in any way?
It's possible. You get the sense that there's this worry in the back of your mind of like, if Abigail were to get very attuned to being an unseen, it also threatens, like, she's always unseen, but for her to like cross over into being more of a full spirit in that never form, then there's a risk that she could become like an anchored. There's a risk that she would start to lose some of that consciousness that she's been able to reclaim in becoming what she is now.
Okay.
It would, however, like theoretically, yes. So the direct answer is yes. It's just that would come with consequences.
Yeah.
And don't
Julie's
forget,
gonna hold Abigail's hand a little bit tighter with that knowledge.
Nice. Would you say that counts as the opening up about your past, having left people and hurt people?
Yeah. Abandoning others because she's so much of a protector by nature. That is her deepest, darkest shame. She hates that about herself.
Nice. Okay, so you could get the XP from that generic string, and then or you could either double up on XP or use the emotional support trigger to get. I think you have 2 conditions left still.
Think I do?
I think you have angry and guilty still. So
Yeah,
if you wanted to clear one of those conditions instead of taking the XP, you could, or you could just take 2 XP.
I'll clear the angry because she holds on to that guilt.
Yeah. Love a good guilt arc. Cool. So you've cleared your angry condition, got an XP for my dirty horribleness, and let's see. Abigail, what did you choose for your? You get 1.
I'm going to take a string on Julie.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I think you said that. Sorry, I'm lost in the sauce now.
It's all good. A lot happened.
So, is everyone ready to go see the shepherd? Alrighty. Mix up a little bit. And you all reconnoiter. At some point, the Captain Circe is like, all right, we're loaded up and about ready to go. So if you all head out and get that translator stuff whipped up, then we should be able to set sail rather soon. And you each have the address. You already got the address from Gale. Heading through the town, it's easy enough to find. You find a small, like, tea shop looking place. And out front, there is a bald-headed individual. They are very androgynous looking with tattoos kind of all over their skin, except for their face and their head, even up to the neck. The tattoos go all the way like the jawline, but not anywhere on the face or the scalp. But wherever there's not tattoos, which is you're only seeing them like on hands and their neck at the moment, because everywhere else they are wearing this like pretty, middle tier kind of business suit, like black tie kind of affair, which looks a little odd in the setting, especially in contrast to the tattoos. But you're not sure what the story is there. They're just sitting outside of the tea shop with sort of a meaningful look on their face, and they see you all coming close and say, "Are you Gale's friends?"
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Of course, Gale's a very close, dear friend.
Good. Come this way. And they get up. They just leave this little teacup on the table and walk into the shop. Shop has no like physical door, just a little like tapestry pushed off to the side. They lead you through what looks like, yes, there's tea here, but there's also like all these little odds and ends and baubles and things, and leads you into a back room, which is unlit when you enter. However, they quickly light a small incense along with some candles and take a seat in a large cushion at the back corner, facing you with a very low circular table in front of them. There is already a teapot here with several teacups arrayed around, and they gesture towards all these other pillows seated about for you to take a seat there.
I find the comfiest one and just fold my dress in and plop down.
Full plop.
Full plop.
Nice. Excellent.
I'm standing, but like just kind of in a cautious way, and just like I'm ready for shit to pop off and hoping it doesn't.
Yeah. Back of the room. Too cool for school.
Yeah.
I'll find a spot and sit down.
I
on
don't
the
know
ground,
if
just
Beal
kind
has
of
ever
like-
looked cool, but definitely like guard dog kind of Emily Axford German Shepherd.
Yeah.
16
Most
candies,
being.
Molly Ringwald, Cassandra will sit on the ground, kind of legs in front of her, like arms, just propping her up, like kind of like in an L position, just like sitting there, just chilling.
Nice. Is Abigail in human or sword form?
I think she is in sword form. Probably with Julie.
Okay. Nice. Of course. I bet.
Julie will probably sit down as well, find like 5 or 6 of the cushions and put them together and make it like proper beanbag-esque throne-ish.
Nice.
Does she curl around for a while, like walk around in a circle?
Oh yeah, the whole like 3-time circle and then like slumps down into the middle.
They start preparing like the tea in the teacups, and they like look over and like see you like nesting, and you can see they like sort of like fiddle with things a little bit longer to give you plenty of time to sit down and get comfortable. You can see that they have presented 5 teacups and push 2 towards Julie.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. The second is for your friend, should she choose to partake. Gale has told me that you are in need of translation services. Yes?
Yeah, Cass, you were talking to Gale last, weren't you?
I was, yes. We are having need of translation services for just going into the, beyond the barrier and the gate, and we were informed that you might be able to provide those assistances.
I can. They pass another teacup to Cassandra, one to Jesse, and one to Beal.
And may I ask, what kind of tea are we drinking today?
It is a special brew. It comes from the leaf of a tree that we use in many of our rituals.
As he's explaining it, I just down it immediately.
There's no liquid in the cup just yet. They've
Pour
only
it in.
passed empty.
I shake
She
it.
doesn't even care.
Fill it
She
up.
just
Let's-
tosses a cup back.
let's
There's
go.
nothing there.
Eagerness
Put a
is
log
good.
thing, please.
Eagerness is good.
Jesse's trying
They-
to hide.
They take the tie off and just sort of leave it still done, but do that. They take it off over their head and hang it on a little nail that's behind them in the wall. All right.
Are we getting more comfortable?
I think once everybody gets comfortable and the tea is there and Abigail hears it's for her, she like tries to like pop out of her sword form, but it kind of gets stuck in all the pillows, and then it just like she just pops up in Julie's lap in human form.
Excellent.
Are you like sprawled across her lap, or are you like sitting in her lap when you appear? Like it's
I think it's kind of a sprawl because like the sword just kind of went like it's like, oh, oops.
Julia will probably help you get comfortable, but she's also got that kind of like, 'cause she's still feral, that little bit of floof from when like a cat was taken by surprise. She's like,
Excellent. Oh, that's so good. The shepherd just sort of watches and is just like, their face is always very kind of stoic, but they do smile just a little bit at that. And their mouth moves, but you hear no words. Abigail, you hear like this soft, well, it sounds like wind, and you see Ika just flutter over to the pot of tea that has been set up in the middle of the table. They begin to move their hands around in just sort of these small, calming gestures. The pot, you can see, starts to shake a little bit as it has some heat. And let me give you something a little bit more smooth here. There we go. The pot starts to glow a little bit from the heat, and then they reach forward and start pouring out the tea into each of the teacups. This is a way of translation. You will have to be willing to open your mind and your heart to speak without words, so that new words will still reach your ears. Are you all prepared for this?
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Are we allowed to have seconds of this? Okay, yeah. Yes.
If you wish seconds of a more traditional tea, then I can provide that afterwards. But
It's the
this
girl with the
is...
hangover. Yes.
Would it be oolong tea?
It can be oolong, oo short, green or white, whatever it is you need.
Yes.
Do we want to pause until Sam can get back?
I can timestamp it, yeah. We can
Okay.
Let me see.
Cassandra's gonna, British pinky tea this.
British Pinky the tea.
Yeah. So it's up, everybody.
Is Abigail still in Julie's lap? I need to know. Or did she like?
Yeah,
That's
that's me.
I'll
You're
leave
just
that
like laying
entirely
across
up to
the
you.
lap, laying across your lap, trying to drink from the teacup.
There we
Hey,
Hey.
Hey!
we're back.
Welcome.
Sorry, guys.
That is okay. Okay. Yes, Cassandra, you can totally do the pinky tea. Abigail, you could be in Julie's lap, or it is entirely up to you. If you, they have made no request as for a more formal seating arrangement.
I think if Julie does not push her off, she does not get off.
Julie won't push her
Not
off.
yet, anyway.
She'll just still be a little bit floof.
It's weird laying in the cat's lap. This is like the reverse.
It is 100%. Ika eventually flutters away off of the teapot, and a cup of tea is poured for each of you. Partake, open your hearts. You will see the way that you usually do. And he sort of nods at Abigail, but it will be more intense. Don't be afraid. Do you each drink?
Yeah. I think hearing that, Abigail is gonna hold on to Julie a little bit tighter and then drink it.
Nice.
I'm gonna come and sit down with everybody.
I'm-
Warily.
Warily, yeah.
I slammed that shit so fast.
Slam that shit.
I am hangover. I am so
The
fucking
boiling
over
hot
everything.
tea.
The boiling hot water,
Yeah,
just
oh, absolutely. Whatever will get rid of whatever this is, yeah.
whatever.
Once you breathe
Let's
afterwards,
do it.
there's still steam coming out because the tea was so
Yeah.
hot. That
I'm like,
kind of
it's-
bad.
Get another one.
You know that so here's the thing is that when you drink it, you just slam it back like it's gonna be a shot. And it's this sort of weird feeling of like you can feel the heat, but it doesn't burn, and instead it starts moving to all of those like achy hangover corners in your body. And it's not like it's getting rid of the ache, it's just making you hyper aware of sort of your physicality. And you sort of look around the room and it's just a lot of sensory happening. You get to ask one of the questions in your Truth of Heart and Blade of anyone in the room.
Is this all of us or just is this?
This is all of you. So
Okay.
start looking at those questions. All of you who drink the tea,
Where's that
you
at?
feel as it is in your playbook under Truth of Heart and Blade. I can tell you the ones for you and Jesse are what would make you run away with me, or where did you learn to fight? And you can ask these of anyone in the room, including Shepard.
Good dick, Matt. Cool.
Why am I a dick? Why am I the worst?
Emotional monster.
It's in your playbook. I'm just using your playbook.
We elected
Cassandra
to play
would-
this emotionally horrifying game together.
Cassandra would be thinking of Suzette while she drank her tea.
Okay, I will. It's someone that has. You do have to be able to see.
No,
them.
I know. I'm just thinking
Oh, okay.
of her while I like. That's where her
Nice.
mind is.
I will say then that you're. This is not change who you get to ask the question of, but the tea
fine.
definitely like it makes you feel sort of that like back brain heaviness of just like feeling like you're about to leave your own body, and the memories of the evening / morning just come back to you vividly in a flash.
Can I look over to Beal sitting next to me and just go, so like it's fucking stupid, but like what, it's really dumb, but like if there was like a reason that you would have to like run, not me, but like if there was a reason that you would have to like run away with somebody, like it's dumb and it's stupid, and we don't have to talk about it, but like what would you say would be that thing? As I shotgun my next oolong tea that I hope they filled up by now.
Yeah, Shepard has been brewing a tea in a completely separate pot. They've gotten a different pot and has been brewing some
I am
normal tea.
shooting these like it is a shot for sure. So like really dumb, I know, but like
Beal is kind of gobsmacked here because this is not like the heart of Beal as a person is she doesn't think she's good enough, and she doesn't think anybody should like her. She doesn't get it. So this is wild.
it's for like a
I
friend
think
though. It's not for a friend for sure.
Looks Jesse in the face and like fully like not breaking eye contact, not like awkwardly anything, just goes, Jesse, I would have run away with you before I knew your name. Nothing, it takes nothing.
I did make the distinction, it was for a friend, it's not my emotions. But what?
I think there's this Jesse at this point.
What?
A little bit of awareness has broken through the tea, and you're realizing that you've been having this dialogue between you and Beal, you're kind of recognizing this at the same time. Your lips haven't been moving. You've been talking to each other through just eye contact and through like just sound and light. And Jesse, you're realizing that when you were like, no, I didn't mean, some for a friend. You're seeing like the words "friend" like Voldemort style wrap itself around into Jesse. Like it's all like your word. There is no lying in this path.
No,
You are
no. I'm trying to get these out.
It's 100% like there's two versions of you. One of them is Jim Carrey before his kid made the wish, and the other one is saying the pen is blue, and you cannot stop them with the other one.
I'm laughing maniacally in front of all these.
Such a deep cut.
And the rest of us wouldn't recognize this. We just see her laughing maniacally.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just see Jesse laughing maniacally and just like waving away at smoke that's like, there's a little bit of smoke in the room because of the incense. And Shepard is just looking at Jesse with this knowing glance of like, is the incense bothering you?
Yeah, it is. If we could tone that down just a little bit, that would be fantastic.
Certainly. And they wave their hand and a little like ember flies off of it and moves to their fingertip and they just squish it.
See, that was the incense. Anyway, what were you saying about knowing? I'm fucking pierce-eyed looking for these fucking words flying out. What were you saying about?
They've subdued a little bit now. The moment of inspiration has passed. But Beal, if you want to fire back, you could use one of your questions. Who do you want me to be, or what are you most afraid of right now? You don't have to ask Jesse those.
No, it's 100% asking Jesse, who do you want me to be? There's no other option here. Who do you want me to be?
I want you to be Beal. Why would I want you to be anybody else?
Just start sobbing. Just
Did I say, Beal? You're great. What's going on? Are you okay?
a lot. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
I wouldn't want you to be anybody else. You did that cool shit you did on stage yesterday with maybe a family member, maybe not. I'm discernible, but it was awesome. That was super cool, Beal. I
just want you to be happy.
I'm happy. And I put my hand on your hand. I'm happy with you here now. Like you're perfect. You're perfect the way you are. Don't ever ask me who you would be. You're awesome. And I go. I mean, you're fucking cool and stuff. You know, yeah, you get it, right? It's looking for those fucking words.
I think
right.
it's this weird sporadic monologue of color and sound that defies normal conversation, and so all of that sputtering and stuttering and confusion and lostness happens in a blink, and then the first words that are normal are right? It's just this totally non-verbal, weird, magical moment capped off with, right?
I think also in the middle of that, Beal kind of accidentally, not intentionally, turns her hand over and interlaces her fingers with Jesse's.
I didn't pull it back.
Kind of leaves that there.
Jesse, I want to see if we can do something here. Give me a figure them out roll.
Oh, nice.
This is gonna be plus wit. Figure out a person.
That is a 6.
No. Wait,
it's okay.
Don't you have any strings you can use?
You can't. So the thing is, you can spend a string on Beal if you wanted to crank this up. You could add
7.
+3 to this.
+3, 9. Let's go.
There you go.
I'm fucking
Nice.
throw it away.
Nice. So that's gonna be a
throwing
mixed
it
beat.
away.
I'm throwing it towards this.
You're changing the story to be what you want it to be.
Hell yeah.
So with that, you may ask 2 questions, but they may ask one of you. What I'm going to say is that we could save if there's a question that's really jumping out to you, because we're already doing a question exchange, and if this was a figure them out move, I just wanted to Beal, with your permission, I think that there's a neat thing that happens with this sort of unspoken nonverbal communication, where Beal, you've been very straightforward here. You've been direct, and while it's hard to react to some of this stuff that you're hearing, you're still like kind of an open book in this moment. Not totally, but you're being very frank and you're just kind of going for it. So I think there's this moment where, as Jesse's looking at you, Jesse is seeing the way you normally feel. And are you wearing the mask right now?
No, I don't think so.
So where Beal's face unmasked is, you see the mask, and then you see a completely different person. And it's just this rotating, like, Wheel of Fortune style of masks flying in front of her that are constantly obscuring who she is until you say, I just wanted you to be you. And that Wheel of Fortune just goes away. And there's no magical vapor, there's no nothing. It's just her crying. And you're just seeing through all of that guise to her.
When the wheel stops and I see the crying, I just like instinctually just like fall forward with like a full hug, and I'm like, it's okay. It's you're fine. You're okay. I'm here. You're here. You're you, and you're perfect. And thank you. And I just bright red, but I hug and speechless.
Beal hugs back, just full, like, has so many things that she wants to be able to say, but is just sobbing so hard that she can't speak.
Cassandra, who would you like to ask your question of?
I honestly don't think Cassandra would want to ask any questions, because for the first time in her life, she's not thinking about who's the next infatuation, who's the next conquest. It's all about right now Suzette. She's totally focused on this could mean something, and I'm not going to try to open another door. I'm not going to play that safety card. I'm not going to sabotage myself. So Cassandra wouldn't want to know what it's going to take for somebody else to run away with her. The whole how did you learn to fight thing feels inconsequential right now, and it doesn't feel like in the moment of where she's at, like it's a question that would need to be asked. So she's just going to remain quiet.
I like that. I will say that since you're doing that, and since your mind is so focused on Suzette, what I'll say is that Suzette gains a string on you. You have this fixation. You have this moment of like materializing interest that you know now it is more than even maybe you thought it was.
Perfect.
Julie, because I have your questions pulled up. You've got two to pick from. What awakens the beast inside of you, and how could I get you to kiss me? Man.
I think we all know which one Julie's gonna go with.
The second, it's definitely the first one, right?
Like without even realizing what's going on, like Julie will be thinking that with Abigail sitting on her lap, and like she's any of that extra sensory stuff is happening to Julie, like because she's feral, she can like feel every hair follicle on her body. She can feel everywhere that Abigail is touching, like all of the heat and everything. And like, if you could see her blushing right now, if it wasn't for the fact that she was in feral, she would be a tomato. She'd match the color behind me. So she'd definitely be blurting that out.
I think you might see like you like your cat. You're not blushing, but I think you're doing that thing where the cat sees something at once and just like the normally narrow eye pupil goes much wider. And the way that this sort of is communicated, this "what could I get you to kiss me" question, I assume it's at Abigail. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Not me. Okay.
No. Okay. Abigail, you feel this like when you look at Julie, it is like looking off the edge of a cliff. There is just this gravitational pull of like something wanting you to come that direction.
Okay. Do I get the sense of that question
Yes, you do get the sense of that
she's
question.
holding
Yeah.
back. Okay.
That what could I get you to kiss me is definitely like that's the sort of audio visual of what you're seeing, but the language imparts perfectly. You know that question is being asked of you.
Okay. I think Abigail turns to face Julie and puts her hands on Julie's face and says, "You just have to be you. You just have to ask."
Like, she can't even speak. Like, she's only thinking things. It's just like, we'll move forwards if she can move forwards, because she can't even, like, words are just making their own way to her mouth. They're not even cognitive at this point.
Yeah, I think then she'll just, Abigail will fall into it too. Just kiss her.
Nice. Love it. What question is asked inside of this kiss? Because you've got your two questions. What stirs your soul to battle, and what would you give your life to protect?
I don't know if either of these apply.
If you want to
Really
switch it up to one of the normal figure out a person questions, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy, and I hope this absolutely does not hurt Julie's feelings. I'm going to use the figure out question. How would you feel if I had feelings for Beal too?
I mean, fine. As long as that didn't change anything about how you felt about me.
Okay. And you will definitely 100% feel that it does not. Like, her feelings for Julie, for you, are absolutely 100% there also.
Cool.
Awesome.
If Julie can purr in feral, that's what's going to be happening.
I'm not going to stop that. 100% canon. Purring aloud. Done. Shepard is just sort of dealing out like normal tea to people as they need it, and is just sort of watching. Do you have any questions before you go? You have a long river ahead of you.
Yes, maybe like one shot of not tea, just for 2 seconds. That would be fantastic. It's maybe for another time. I apologize.
I mean, I'll take the
No,
tea again. I mean, that was a good experience for me. I don't know that.
I'm confused. Maybe this was all well and good, I suppose, but how does this help us with translating for the people that we will be encountering?
Oh, Cass, you're back. You've been sitting by yourself quietly the last 6 minutes.
I'm sorry I wasn't laughing maniacally, but I was introspective.
We were worried about you. We were
worried about you.
I was having an introspective moment.
I'm fine.
You
good.
clearly
Everyone who
are.
says that is fine, right?
Translation, please. What Cass said? What translator? Yes.
A small glass gets scooted in front of you, Jesse, and there is a warm orange liquid in there.
Down it immediately.
It's 100% whatever the in-world equivalent of Fireball is.
Okay. Oh.
I keep those for.
I might actually need one of those as well.
There's already one in front of you.
I think if Abigail
Still
sees
sobbing.
that Beal is still sobbing, still in Julie's lap, still holding on to Julie, I think she's gonna reach out like one hand and just rub Beal's back too.
Nice.
Sobs harder.
I think in the lingering moments of this magic moment, when your hand moves out to touch Beal's back, you can see that there's already like a figment of your hand there, like you're sort of like fulfilling a timeline, and that it's this quiet moment of like seeing that Julie sees that too, and knowing that she knows and that she still didn't break off the kiss, that everything was okay, and that it's fine. It's you're all being you in this moment. The shepherd sort of puts out this little flask onto the table. I keep that for particularly insightful meditations, just in case. As for the translations and how they work, you all just had a moment of direct communication. And while that moment was intense, it is not fleeting. The intensity will subside, but it will stay with you so long as you stay here. Ika is of this place, and now your hearts are attuned to its magic. The people here are closer to the next and the never than those outside of our lands. They are aware of how language truly works, for it is an approximation of thought and feeling, given crude sounds. You can now see past the sounds to the meaning.
Cool.
Okay, that's not crazy at all.
It's kind of like poetry, to be honest.
Yeah, was I the only one who's seen the fucking words? Okay, never mind. Sorry. I agree with you. I'm cool.
You're seeing things?
No, I'd stop. We're not getting into this right now. Words.
Were you seeing noises?
No. Did you hear what the man said? That was yes.
It was a bunch of yes. I mean, of course. I guess we have a ghost sword walking around with us, so I guess it's not really a huge jump.
Yes.
This is very different than my formal training. But I'm learning.
Cassandra, when you are with a lover, do you not know exactly what they need without them asking?
I mean, of course, I'm intuitive, and it's oftentimes what?
Then you already know how to read the language of hearts. I've just expanded your vision. Call it that.
I'm going to rock her world next time.
Surprises await all of you. Not all of them good. Be ready. Is there anything else you require before your journey takes you away from here?
Part of me just really wants to say, you got any healing potions? But that's not necessary.
Healing potions are talking. Everything's talking in this game.
Got 50 feet of hempen rope?
You got 50 feet of hempen, which apparently weighs 10 pounds?
I believe we have everything we need, and maybe then some.
Can I actually try to figure out Shepherd?
Totally. Roll that, figure them out.
Oh, that's bad. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Woo! Shepherd, there's this moment where you go to like try and like ask Shepherd verbally, and then you're like, oh, maybe I could sneak this in, and you like try to like use that bit of like, oh yeah, definitely take your XP. Don't forget that downbeats come with some XP.
Got it.
But you try to reach out in that sort of like nonverbal, that spiritual way of connecting, like you do with Ika. And there's this like, it's like hitting a brick wall, and not in a comfortable way. It's not just like it's not like there's just a dead end. It's like they actively rebuff you, and they sort of push you away, and they shake their head looking at you and say, "Not all things are meant to be known by all people. This is the problem you will face when you get there. Those who should not know now know the way through the gate. My words have no meaning now, but they will soon."
I apologize for pushing.
You asked, and I said no. Such things are the way of the universe. It is okay to say no, and it is always okay to ask.
Consent is important. Always.
Mm-hmm.
They very gingerly sip Fireball, which is the sign of a true mad person. Like, it's just a sipping whiskey to them.
He sip Fireball.
We don't have the sponsorship to say that. It's cinnamon whiskey.
It's cinnamon whiskey. It's
Did he sip cinnamon whiskey? That's okay.
that's 8d6 of good. Mm.
What is a D6, sir?
We rolled
Okay.
D6s here. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Everyone else is seeing the fucking words for sure. I'm going. I'm out of here.
Also, as Cassandra says something about consent, Beal looks to Jesse like as quickly as possible, but still probably Jesse can see that that's happening.
Whenever we start walking, I lean over to Beal before we walk out and go, "There's something I gotta ask you when we go outside, when we're by ourselves for a second. If we can, whenever we get a minute." And just quietly say that to Beal.
Oh, all right.
Is there anything else any of you would like to do before moving on?
Do we see any of the tea that they used to brew to have this a moment of inspiration?
No. And when you get the sense of like when they see you like looking around for a little bit, it's just this like it's now that is not what you need.
Can I talk to the person? Just what's their name? I don't remember the name all of a sudden.
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Can I be like, Shepherd? I don't feel like I properly got to experience the moment with this tea. I mean, it was lovely, but the person I wanted to ask questions for, or just bond, they weren't here, and I would like to have a moment of openness and transparency with them. Is it possible, perhaps, that I could either have some or bring them to you sometime, and we could both have some tea together?
Give me that entice roll.
What do I roll for this?
This is plus heart.
Is my heart still crappy? I don't know. We'll find out.
I thought you took an advance on your heart, but I can't remember.
I did. I think I have a +1 now on my heart.
Yeah, you've been opening. I remember that because you did that right after something happened with Suzette, because you were like opening up more and being more
Yeah,
expressive.
my heart's a +1, and it's 2d6 +1. Here we go. Come on, heart. Woo! 7, 8.
8. Heck yes. They're just gonna straight up promise something they think you want, and since you said what you want, they know what you want. It is difficult to use this tea without knowing how. Let me prepare something for you. And they go back into the back room. They take a little bit of time, and then they come out with a very small little glass bead. Cook this over a fire, and you and whoever is there shall experience something similar.
Thank you, most kindly. But I'll put that away.
I hope it goes well for you. It is always important to speak while we have the chance. Now, is there anything else any of you need from me?
Is there anything
Very-
we should be aware of? Like,
They sort of look up at the roof, like almost following something, and then they look back to you. Be careful. Trust your hearts. Trust yourselves. You have everything you need. Just remember that time is always running, and it's currently running short. And everyone that's there, when they say short, there is this other voice that permeates all of your minds 10 times louder and covers up that word short. And instead,
Now. Ouch.
I'm sorry. What was? I'm sorry. Did you have something stuck in your throat?
I'm sorry, I just said time was running short.
Oh yes, of course.
Everyone else heard that too, right? That wasn't just okay.
yep.
Cool. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. This has been an enlightening experience. I'm gonna go outside and do a little hangover throw up if you don't mind. Thank you so much, and just fucking go out after this whole crazy experience.
Beal is
You
still
can
holding Jesse's hand, if possible.
That totally fine. I'm not taking away holding hands. Holding hands is the best. You do notice that, like, you all kind of reacting in that way. They're confused. It looks like they didn't. Whatever that was, that either wasn't them, or they didn't hear it, or both, or something. They're looking a little off. You seem put out by what I said. It was nice seeing you. I don't want to. I hope I did not say anything wrong.
No, I don't think you said anything wrong. Thank you for your hospitality. And the tea.
They clearly notice the emphasis of your words, and like, you're more than welcome to it, and are already like grabbing some leaves and crushing them up and starting to, like, their mind is elsewhere. You can see that they're thinking about something. They're trying to solve some sort of problem.
We'll see you when we get back, Shepard. Thanks again.
When you get back. Yes.
Insight check.
Insight check. That would be figure out a person. I
Can I do that? That was really weirdly worded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say figure out a person, and I'm gonna say, are you trying to figure out Shepard, or are you trying to figure out what you heard?
Kind of both, because there was that voice, which was super weird, but also the whole pause over when you come back was really off-putting for me, and I if I can do both, if I can only do one, then
give me the figure out, and we'll see what those questions give you.
What figure out
a person is a plus wit roll, and we will see what that roll is right after our break.
I have. Oh, sorry. Okay,
So we will be right back, everybody. Give us just a little bit. Go refresh yourselves. Go get some snacks, and we will be right back. When we last left off, Cassandra was trying to investigate an odd occurrence. Something weird was going on with.
Something weird's going on.
Something weird is going on. Give me that figure out a person, and this will either apply to, and we could say it's either a shepherd or a whatever that voice was. You can apply it to either one depending on what the question is.
Okay, and you said this was wit, right?
This is plus wit. Yes, 2d6 plus wit.
That's a 9.
All right, just on that cusp of mixed beat. So you may ask 2 questions, but they may ask one of you. So we'll figure out who's asking the question and to whom as we go. So what's your first question?
My first question would be, what the fuck was that voice?
You do technically. Well, let me see. I actually think, normally you have to pick from the list. I think that's a totally valid
Oh.
question.
Okay, where's my list of questions again?
The list of questions is, what are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I blank? However, I think that the what the fuck was that voice is a totally valid question given what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna eschew the list here and say that the what the fuck was that voice? It based on what you know of how that T works and what you know of how shepherds sort of what they do is happening. And their reaction, because Shepard also looks like confused, not by the voice, but by your reaction. You're guessing that they didn't hear it. That was most likely some sort of powerful phantasm or something of the unseen.
Okay. Then my second question I would word it in the way of like, because the first thing you said, or it was the first or second question you asked, it was like, how do you feel about me or something like that? Is that what it was? How is that how it was worded?
Yeah, what are your feelings towards blank?
Okay. Shepard, I could not help but notice the way you responded when we said we would see you when we got back, and you hesitated and said yes when you get back. How do you feel about our chances of going beyond the wall, the gate?
I hesitate to conjecture at anything too far forward or too far back. I have spent too much time peering into the never to have a good focus on the now.
So you're not implying that perhaps that we will not be returning, but just rather you're just more focused on the immediate.
I don't like to put certainty towards anything I am not currently seeing.
Understood.
I can
Just
put
so
hope
long
towards
as-
it.
And hope is appreciated. I was more worried that perhaps you knew something we didn't know about this journey, and I thought we should find out before we go if there's some unknown horror or unknown monsters that we might be encountering.
I don't know if you said whore or horror. I think you are
Yeah,
best
either.
prepared for the first.
Either is applicable.
Well, I don't know what it is you reacted to, but I think they are also going to ask the question, what are your feelings towards them? Because they're kind of, they're trying to puzzle out what's going on right here. It's like, it really wasn't anything I said, correct? Something else happened here, and you heard it, yes?
When you said the time is drawing short, there was, and I believe we all heard it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we all heard a voice say something along the lines of now, or something, get out now. Did anyone else heard the voice, right? It wasn't just me going insane?
No, we all heard. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad it wasn't just me going insane.
Not yet.
I did not hear that voice, although because you just took the tea, your hearts are most open. You might have heard something that resonates strongly where the never crosses the now, and I just was not attuned or looking for it, and so I missed it. I don't know what meaning that could be. Do I know what it is? Something unseen, and I'm apologize for the terribly vague answer, but these are mysteries to me as much as they are you.
I just wanted to make sure we were not being set up. I have my friends and my
No, I mean you
that
no
special
harm.
someone to consider now.
No, I mean you no harm. This is all unfolding as it should, I think. If you heard
then-
something, you were meant to hear it.
Well, then, Shepard, I personally would like to thank you for all your efforts. on our behalf. I would like to also thank you for this gift that you have given me. I will be most grateful, and will return the favor in any way I can in the future.
You are most welcome. Good luck on your journey. And they kind of get back to mulling about with these leaves, and you can see them taking what you've said and thinking hard about those words that you heard. They don't look like they know anything, but they're definitely thinking about it. I think Jesse and Beal, you were going to find a moment to talk in private, and I think as the group makes their way back towards the strumpet, it's easy enough for you to like fall back and kind of have a private conversation for a bit.
I walk over to like the side of whatever alleyway, just away from everybody for a second. I'm like, Beal, I know we were getting lit in there, but I couldn't help but notice you said something that kind of you said there's a washer going. It's wild. You said you thought I was beautiful before you met me? What did that mean?
I've lived alone for so long. I lived on I don't know how to tell you this. I saw you performing some time ago. And it changed my life. It changed me, and I found myself being confident for the first time because of you. And whenever I saw you, it made every day better. And then we got on the strumpet and you were there, and you suddenly knew who I was and talked to me, and that seemed like more than I ever deserved. And I don't know. I'm not making sense.
Jesse just takes a step forward and just like kisses you. I just
right back
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I'm not used to doing this. I don't. This is hard for me, but I usually. It's like with Glory. It's like with that bitch, right? For a second. So like it. I'm usually okay at just betting somebody. It's awesome. It's the greatest feeling. It's amazing. It's a performance. It's wonderful. But the moment I was so close. I was one step away from betting Glory, right? And it just in my mind at least. But I one step and then something removed myself. I couldn't think about Glory anymore. I couldn't think. I lost my talent. And then we talked later for a minute, and it just reminded me that I don't always have to put on a show, and I thank you.
No, you as you are is more than enough. Everything
Same.
you are is gorgeous. Your intransigence, your stubborn inability to stop anything. It's just just leans in and kisses Jesse right back.
Jesse reciprocates and just you're amazing, Beal. Thank you. Like kind of blushes, but goes. I mean, yeah. Let's go back to our friends. They're ahead. That's we don't. Feelings are dumb. And just runs forward towards the group.
Beal is never letting go of Jesse's hand. Just never. Not ever. Never again.
Feelings are dumb.
Feelings are dumb. That is indeed a whole ass mood. Anything else that y'all want to happen before setting sail for wherever the river may lead you?
I think
Alrighty.
we're ready to take off.
Ready to take off. Okay. Excellent.
Captain
Excellent.
Connery.
So it's seriously. What are you talking about? You get back to the ship. Captain Saoirse and the first mate are getting everything underway, and it looks like what's the first? Eustace. That's right. Eustace is prepping all of the stuff below deck, and you were all able to get to your stations. The appointed time that Beal snuck into the gatekeeper's records, but apparently Tal'tal is, letting that investigation slide a little bit to make sure that you're able to get on your way as a thank you for helping her along in her personal journey. You go to what is the eponymous gate of the city, this massive bridge that spans the river, and there's this huge, elaborately carved portcullis that goes down into the water. You see those giant ribbons of wood thread their way down and back below the surface of the water as the gatekeepers open it up, and you are free to go into the Thicclands proper. And you can see, I'm going to move y'all over. If you're in Roll20, you can see it in Roll20. Otherwise, I'm going to post it up on to our little video screen here. Give you a little bit of a map. This is the gate, the city where you are, and you can see that sort of bridge spanning the river, and you are heading up river. And this travel takes several days and nights as you go through on the left side, the western side, there is just dense forest and jungle, and on the right side it opens up just a little bit into more plains and grasslands, but it starts to get more and more jungle as you proceed towards this nexus of three rivers. Is there anything specific you want to do while you're on the ship heading deeper into the Thicklands? And you do not have to say yes, no, or sideways. I have a few things planned, but we did just get... Yeah.
Cass would try to spend some time, like maybe writing a poem or something, or compose a song for Suzette. She's just feeling all kinds of sappy and cheesy.
Sappy and cheesy, nice. I think Eustace probably notices, and he's not one to pry, but he's just sort of like working on any notes or scientific discovery, or have you yet to turn to the more engineering practical ways?
I mean, technically, you could say this is science. It's chemicals and in emotions, and it's just a different form of science. I think I'm in love, and that's weird.
That's not like you at all.
It's not.
Are you sure?
Dear gods, I hope. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of it, so I hope it's love and not something else.
What else would it be? Indigestion?
Well, what did we have for dinner last night? That's very possible too.
I think we had duck.
Where are the ducks around here anyway that they would have gotten them from? I didn't see any.
I saw a pond. I was catching them with bread. It's not a traditional ration, I know, but I personally enjoy the unctuous taste of good duck liver. It helps the brain, you know.
Yes. Anyway, I'm trying.
Your bewilderment is expected of a lesser mind. It's okay. It's okay.
Absolute absurdity of I wanted duck for dinner, so I took some bread to the pond and caught a bunch of ducks.
I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with the word believer, and it's a little, a little difficult for me right now.
That is tough. You might have to use a slant rhyme.
Here's what I have right now. Then I saw her face, bomb, 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 bomb. Now I'm a believer, and that's where I'm at right now.
Interesting. Well, there's not a doubt in my mind that you'll figure it out, Cassandra.
I mean, if it doesn't work, I'll just scrap it and start over with something else.
Yes. It's tough, the years keep coming, and you have to keep adapting to new situations.
Well, if they don't stop coming, then what are we going to do?
They'll never stop coming.
There's so much to do.
So little time.
All right. Anyway, I just, I never thought that any one woman would ever make me feel this way, and...
Yes, I haven't quite seen you like this since you found those triplets off of the coast of Tripoli.
I should give them a call. No, I shouldn't give them a call. Quit! Don't make me think that way. I have to behave. Although... No, I have to behave. Unless... No.
You seem to be in a quandary, and I shall leave you with it, for self-discovery is important. He shuffles off, humming a rather strange melody. Amazing. Anyone else doing anything particular while Cassandra composes what is perhaps the greatest tune in the history of the Thicclands?
Not at all plagiarism. We're fine.
No, not a bit.
Not even a little. Nope.
No.
I think Abigail has been a little torn because she does not want to leave Julie's side, but she's also kind of worried about Beal actually really worried about Beal because Beal was just sobbing.
She'd openly weep in front of the group.
Yeah,
yes, there's a moment.
A
lot of moments, I think. It was like a good string of them.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody on the crew had ever seen that before.
Nope.
So I think that she's just kind of bouncing between Julie and Beal and probably even Jesse, just to check on everybody and Cassandra. But
nice.
Mostly, Julie and Beal.
Beal is at any given moment with Jesse, so I think that's not a hard thing to do.
I think Ika always finds a way to check in on you during the day, Abigail. You two are particularly close, being that you are both, unseen. You are sort of their natural translator. But you also do notice them flitting about Beal and Jesse periodically, and whenever they land on Beal, you notice that the butterfly wings kind of get a little bit sharper, almost bird-like. You can see little feather striations in the patterns on the wings.
Oh, sorry.
No, what do you want to say?
Oh, I guess when that happens, I feel like Abigail kind of trusts Ika to kind of find the people that need the most support, and that seems to be Beal. So I think Abigail will give Julie a kiss and say that they're going to go off to check on their friends, and just kind of pop over to Jesse and Beal. Are you guys all right? That was kind of intense.
Okay.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Beal fell asleep just moments ago, and I'm just fucking carving into the wood, trying to be a badass and trying to do cool things. And Beal has not let go of my hand still. And I'm yeah, It's fine. She's been sleeping. Like I
think Abigail like reaches forward and like holds it for her and like kind of helps like kind of guide her hand where it needs to go.
Thank you. Yeah. Drawing a skull on the fucking side of the boat. She's awake. There she is.
What did I
I just came to check on you guys. Because that was a lot. It was a lot. And I was worried about you. Both of you, but Beal also, mostly.
I guess since we're having kind of an open and honest day, I have never been enough for anyone. And I've carried that for all of my life, and I didn't know that I needed to hear that I was enough by myself, and I just couldn't. It was a good cry. It was a very good cry, and it was a long time coming. And thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Also, who are these people? Can you give me a list because I'm going to beat them up?
It's a longer conversation. I'm interested in that proposition. Yes.
They're so wrong. You're very, very wrong. You were more than enough for anybody, all of us.
That's what I keep fucking telling her the whole fucking time. I'm still carving a skull and the dotting eyes in there.
Okay, why are you carving a skull?
His feelings are stupid, Beal. It's dumb. It's a way to get money, and it's finishing the skull out.
That's a much longer conversation that I need to prepare for, and I trust you and I love you, and I will do the work to get to the point that I can tell you about that. But right now I'm just existing.
Abigail, when Beal says "I love you," she just like kind of makes like a wheezing sound and just like is beet red and just like says, "I love you too, both of you." Yep.
Crying again.
She pops into lightsaber, rolls on the ground between Jesse and Beal, and just sits there for.
What is happening? Why are we all? We're just fucking.
Captain Skirshi kind of like moves the wheel a little bit, and the ship rocks as it turns, and Abigail goes rolling over to knock against Julie's foot.
Julie will probably pick Abigail up and just look over at Jesse and Beal and kind of put two and two together and just pop Abigail on her hip where she would normally stay in her sword form. So she's comfy.
Abigail's sword is very, very warm.
Julie will walk on back over to Beal and Jesse, as that's where Abigail wanted to be.
So, like, anybody want, like, a bunch of shots or something? Or, like, are we just, like, can we... Or, like...
When do you want to start?
Right now! Feelings are stupid. Let's... It's good.
It's a lovely idea.
I mean, feelings are valid unless you're afraid of them, so...
Shots all around! Let's do it! Shots for everybody!
You hear the captain call out, "Shots after we get past this friggin' sandbar!" And the ship is kind of moving around. A little bit of the moment is kind of shaken out as you're having to very quickly get back to actually manning the ship and doing things.
Yeah, shots right after. But in the meantime, maybe we just carve out like cool skulls or something to like not like
I love how bright, shiny sunflower Jesse is like, I'm goth now, and just starts carving emo shit into the boat.
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Abigail kind of like pops out her sword just like as a laser, like a little bit, and like floats around and makes like where the skull is just like sunflowers coming out of like the skull.
Oh.
Jesse, perhaps you could help me. You're kind of artsy. I scrapped the first song I was working on. I've started on another one. Maybe it's more of a poem. I don't know. Would you just let me bounce some lyrics off you?
If it gets me away from talking about our emotions right now, yes, please.
Yes, exactly what it will do. It says, I found a love for me.
I am done with
Oh, darling,
Cassandra
just
today.
dive right in and follow my lead. Is that?
I am starting a copyright company immediately. I
Does that
very
sound
close to it.
Does that sound okay? Or is that just trashy?
I'd rather do the whole profession of love thing that we did earlier than go any more with this, Cassandra.
So I should stop, is what you're saying.
Oh my goodness. Captain, can you just do like a quick pull of the wheel and just wherever we land? I don't care at this point, please.
Not knowing what it was, I will not give up on you this time. He seems like off in the distance, just zoned out, enjoying the call of not the sea, but the river, the water.
Thanks,
Captain, would you say this is a byway to the danger zone?
Kill us. Just kill us. Just turn it real fast. Just one crank and we're all next to the
Justin!
If it is, then we're going right into the danger zone.
I start a new skull on the other side of the wall. I'm over it.
Lenny Coggins is our ship musician.
No.
Lenny Coggins. Incredible. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Who would be sort of the one doing like night patrol on the ship?
If it gets me, I will go the other side if it gets me away from everybody for the moment.
this would be I imagine Jesse at some point just gives up and through all of the parody lyrics just goes below deck, some way to escape. This would be afterwards when most people are sleeping and just relaxing.
Abigail does not sleep, so I think that they would take the night shift.
So coming aboard deck.
I want to find out what's going on with Jesse.
Okay. Do you want to do that scene first?
This is heartbreaking, but great.
Yeah. Let's do that real quick. So Beal, Jesse, amid the flurry of bad knockoff lyric puns, Beal, you see Jesse like storm off to kind of distance herself from what's going on.
Could it give her a little bit, give her like 10-15 minutes to just kind of like cool, and then just go and figure out what room she's in and gently knock on the door.
Sitting in the cabin, and come in. It's fine. Door's open.
What's going on? I mean, you don't have to tell me. I'm here if you do want to tell me, and you know how I feel about you, and I want to make your life better if I can.
It's not you. It's. Do you remember the big guy on stage with the claymore that was swinging around? They kind of sounded like somebody from a fried chicken ad that we might have heard at one point.
Yes, you told me that was your father.
Yeah, I
kicked him right in his butt.
You did, and it was super glorious. Not glorious. It was super wonderful. Wonderful.
I got you.
It was wonderful. But I don't hate my family, but it's complicated. I I like you a lot, and I like you a lot, but I'm afraid to talk to my family, but I want to talk to my family, but I know they wouldn't. This is my family, and you are my family, and I don't know how I would break it to them without them not wanting to ever see me.
Break what to them?
Nothing. Nothing. This is fucking stupid.
Darling, I think we're past evasions at this point. I mean,
Thank you. That I enjoy your company. It's that stuff. Yeah. Ooh.
Can I tell you something? If it might make it easier for you.
Yeah. Anything, Beal.
The first time I saw you perform, I was living on the rooftops. I haven't talked about this to anyone. So I'm sorry if it's a little rambly. When I first saw you perform, I was on the rooftops because I lived there. Not that my family was ever good to be around or supportive or call it what it is, not abusive, but I told them about this part of myself, and it became imminently dangerous for me to be there. So I left. And I've been alone ever since, so I know exactly what you're afraid of about not being supported and not being loved for who you are, and I just need you to know that as long as I am here, that will never happen. We all love you for exactly who you are, and you know how I feel about you now, and no matter what that bumpkin says, you have family here.
Thank you, Beal. I needed that. Just put the knife down, and kind of like walk up with a slow embrace. Just start sobbing, but like don't tell anybody I'm sobbing. And just lean in and just keep sobbing quietly. Thank you.
You see Ika flutter up onto Beal's shoulder and does a little like lip sealed gesture with their wingtip. And I think that is definitely an emotional support role for Beal. If you would like to make that, either heart or spirit.
8.
8. Nice. So that is a mixed beat.
I got a full
I'm
8.
gonna count full 8. I'm gonna say that Jesse, you coming in and embracing and just thanking her, I feel like that's opening up. So you get to pick 2 because you're smitten with Beal. So you can clear a condition, mark XP, +1 forward, or gain GM insight. I don't think you have any conditions. Obviously XP is a good one. And what would you like for the other one?
XP for sure, and then for the other one, can I do a string? Is that okay? Or no?
It doesn't say string, but
that's it. What was it again? I'm so sorry. Say it.
Plus, mark XP +1 forward, or gain insight about an obstacle facing one of you.
I would love to gain insight I would love to gain insight because I know it's going to affect both of us. If I know anything else about Kentucky Fried Chicken, and where he might be.
It's finger looking good.
It's finger looking good. You know that there's like some number of spices. Most of them are pepper. And your dad, you don't know where he is, but I would say that with that tea, with that sort of like open sense of awareness to the world, and since y'all have left the gate, it's quieted down. It's not so obvious and in the front, but you're all feeling this just supernatural awareness of everything happening around you. The jungle and the river and even the ship and just everything feels so much more vibrant and alive. I would say that, Jesse, you know that you are heading towards him. That there is a confrontation on the horizon that you will have to deal with. And at this point, I think you have, just to give a little bit more insight beef to that, you would understand, I think, that there are critical differences here, that it's not going to be just like, hey, let's have a good chat. There's not going to be a good chat to be had until there's sort of a whooping first, right?
Before we turn away, I grab Beal's hand and I go, and I make sure nobody else is around because I'm not a baby, but I look and I'm like, I know you have my back, and I know we really, really, really like each other. You said it first, I didn't. But one of
What?
wherever we go, if we move forward, if anything happens to you, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay with myself, and my family, I would love to mend relationships with them, but Beal, if anything happens to you from my family, I will plant sunflowers at their funeral. I don't care. I love you, and I enjoy being around you, and I know they're not going to accept what we are. We're not putting titles on anything, but if we go there and he tries to hurt you or anything, please just run, and I will deal with it. But I don't want anything to happen to you. I love you a lot. I love you.
I love you too, and I'm not afraid of your father. He can't do anything to me that my own already hasn't.
No, I know, but
Also, we took his sword. What would he even try to hit us with? He can't do shit.
I know I love you.
I love you.
I did give him his sword back, kind of, in an alleyway. He might not have it though, at 50-50. But
Well, if he does, we'll just take it again.
I know, but just be careful, please.
Of course, yes.
I don't know what I would do without you.
I will be here for you, and if that means running, then I will run. But if you're in danger, we'll plant sunflowers at their funeral.
I take your hand and just like step forward and kiss you. And thank you, Beal. That's it.
Nice. Abigail, sort of winding the clock forward a little bit. You're doing your as the one who never sleeps. You're doing your rounds, and I think because of just the odd relationship Eustace has with the unseen, I think you and him have this odd like, I'm taking watch. What do you have to sleep? You are biologically required to sleep. So it's this weird like he always does the watches too. So he's wandering around, and you're wandering around as well somewhere, and above deck you're sort of doing your rounds, and you see a figure at the front of the ship. This is when you are about probably a week into the trip upriver, and you are getting to this nexus point where the river comes to a sort of a T intersection, and it's right at this point that you see a figure at the front of the ship, just kind of looking around and skulking a little bit, and like staring off the bow of the ship, kind of with like this. Even from a distance, there's a little bit of a tense energy to them.
And I don't recognize that figure.
You don't recognize their silhouette.
Okay. I'll kind of like have like my sword in my hand, and just kind of go up closer and say, "Hello, who are you?"
There's a little like tense, and you can see their arm kind of move to their back, where along their back you see a large like spear that looks like it is made of bone. And when they look to you, you can see male kind of like tactical outfit. They look like they're outfitted for some sort of like heavy combat journey. He looks at you and it's like, "Hey, I borrowed your ship. Hope you don't mind."
I do mind. What do you mean you borrowed it?
I needed to get upriver, and you had a
Oh.
ship.
Oh, I thought you were trying to take over.
No. Yeah, so I can see why you thought that. As a aggressive lead in.
A
No,
little
I
bit.
just needed a
Maybe
little bit.
pull it
Yeah.
back just a little.
I mean, I'm a 9 minimum, man. I'm always there.
Got it.
Yeah, I was just struggling with that next step.
Fair. Abigail. You are?
Oh, Osoda.
Oh,
Good to meet you, Abigail.
Yeah, it's good to meet you too. I mean, you probably could have asked for a ride.
You never know. Not a lot of people like being along for the ride. Like you said, aggressive. You know.
Fair. You know, some people on here are also like at a 10 constantly, so you know.
Is that cat lady? She seems ramped, man.
I mean,
in a good way.
Yeah, but also she's pretty chill. I was talking about the one that's always drawing with the sunflower.
I wouldn't read 10 there. I mean, like looks, but like no, I mean like she's not as attractive as Glory, but
oh, I would not tell her that. She will throw you overboard.
So that's how you get to see the 10. That's how you crank it up. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
You seem sorry again, aggressive lead off. You seem different. I'm not like I keep seeing you change into a sword occasionally.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to watch creepy. I just had to look to
No.
make sure that I didn't get found before I got to my stop. It's not a stop. You aren't stopping.
No, it's okay. Yeah. What do you know about, spirits and things like that?
I know they exist, and I know that he looks off the bow of the ship. I know that if I don't go, where I need to, I'm gonna wind up being one.
Being one's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was. You seem like more there than the others, right? Though, like normally they're kind of, and Ika kind of like flutters onto your shoulder. Yeah, like that. I mean, not to be rude, but I don't want to be a butterfly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ika kind of turns a shade of red. Like, what's wrong with being a butterfly?
Nothing's wrong with being a butterfly, Ika. You're beautiful.
Goes back to that nice, calm, soothing pastel blue-green.
Yeah, I don't know if that's guaranteed. I don't know how I'm me.
So you don't remember what happened?
Not really. I remember the day. I remember it being way in the future. I remember getting on a bus. That's about where it ends.
There wasn't like a... My friend always calls them threshold moments, right? Where you know you are here, and then you go there, and you can't go back. There wasn't one of those where you were like you made a decision to be on the other side?
For me, if I did, I don't remember.
Okay.
I feel like I didn't really have a whole lot to go back to though. So maybe.
I can sympathize. Well, it's been nice riding on your ship. Thanks for the lift.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're gonna have to talk to Cassandra. But should be fine, with you here. You don't have to hide.
Oh no, I'm this is literally my stop. I gotta get off. I don't think y'all are heading the same direction I am.
Ah, I see. Well, good luck, and hope to see you. You still, maybe.
I hope not. But that's my own thing to get.
Fair.
You have a good one, Abigail.
You too, Osada.
And they kind of take a moment, lean back a step, and then just jump into the water. And you can see them swim to shore, and he's gets off, brushes himself off of the water, gives you a quick wave. Eustace comes running forward at the sound of water. Oh goodness, I thought you fell in.
Oh, no, it's okay, Eustace. I can float.
You mean you can swim, right?
I mean, yeah.
I've never seen you swim. You keep ignoring my safety precautions. I've given you several pamphlets.
I mean, I know how to swim, Eustace, but I don't need to. I can just float.
Nope, wait, who's that? And he like gestures over. You there? And like shouts over at the bank.
He was a guest. He's sleeping though. He's got business.
What? That's... He was on the ship.
I'm just gonna pat Eustace on the back and walk away.
It gets more confusing the deep... Readings are all off. Mutter grumbles back up to the deck of the ship and continues piloting the wheel for his begrudging night shift. Poppycock. The ship rounds that bend. You take a left at that, knowing that the map that you have from the Forcekin, the Dick ship that you were able to plunder and rescue Ika from. You have that sort of like weirdly animatronically sketched out map from that strange device they had, and you know that the left bend of the river is the way you want to go. The right bend leads off to a lake, but the left bend leads off to this theoretical tree that's out there.
So
And
the dick map curves slightly to the left.
The dick map curves slightly to the left, yes. It still gets where it needs to go, though, is the main thing. And you continue your journey deeper and deeper into the jungle, the Thicclands, and start to approach a river valley. The mountains kind of go up pretty steeply on the right-hand side, and the left-hand side is kind of this just like sheer cliff, but just covered in foliage. Vines and plants and large branches hanging out over that empty space travel down the side of that cliff. And the ship continues further and further. You can kind of feel this energy mounting. The further up this river you go, Ika keeps getting more and more wild. And like actually bigger. Like her wings are starting to like get large enough, and you can even like sometimes at breakfast she'll like knock over cups and glasses and things, and Eustace is just like, "Ah! Where's my readings? Where's my meter?" And it just like tries to scan it, but it's just a little too late. And you come around the bend and you see on the right hand side the mountains have kind of been carved away from the river. It's one of those things where it's like at one point the river probably ran over there, etched out all of this land, and then moved its way back. So it's just this kind of flat, nice rolling hill gently leading to the riverbank. And on top of that hill you see this massive tree, just like you saw it in that vision, Abigail. You see this tree literally glowing with light and energy. And the captain just sort of says, "Ah, goal ho!" and spins the wheel, giving you all a rather topsy-turvy entrance onto the shore. And the tree stands before you. As you make landfall, Ika immediately just like flies off in that direction, to where if you are chasing her, you are literally having to haul ass after Ika to catch up.
I think Abigail would definitely try to keep up.
What's everyone else doing?
Can't leave the others behind. I gotta go.
Yep.
Or I can't be left behind. Can't let them go on ahead alone. I don't know. You pick your metaphor, but I'm going.
Yeah, I'm following.
Same.
I run past Cass. I'm like, whatever you're dealing with, come on, we gotta go. And just run past you.
Oh, you just assume because I stumbled over my choice of words, I'm going slowly.
You said it
Whatever.
aloud to the rest of us. I wasn't sure what you were doing. Okay. Keep running.
Beal is right there.
Yeah. Julie, I think you're feeling you're still at 4 feral, and you're feeling extra feral as you sort of like bound into this primordial jungle. You're feeling very much at home, and I think the little bits of wildlife you've been seeing on this journey are starting to read very like alien and other. It's a strange land where it's like you think you see a tree and it turns out to be just a snake coiled around and hanging down from a larger tree. The animals and the flora and fauna here are intense. As you get to this tree, it is massive, and its canopy overhangs you and casts this like really just pleasant shade all around, and you can see what most definitely look like peaches up in the boughs of this tree. Which kind of hang low. They're only maybe like 12 feet up to the lowest branch. Easy enough with 2 of you if you wanted to like reach up for the branches. Around the trunk is this sort of like big, wide trunk. I'm forgetting the name of those trees, but it's where like you could very easily hide from one person by going to the other side of this bottom heavy tree. Ika flutters up and lands on the tree, and her wings are sort of like beating angrily, like frustrated. You can see her flashing little oranges and reds as there's this sense of like they're where they need to be. It's just not happening. There's just nothing happening like they expected it to.
I think Abigail kind of floats up to where she is and is like, hey, it's okay, we'll figure it out. Just kind of trying to calm her.
They still like just are like bouncing into this tree. Give me emotional support to try and rein them in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. 13.
Wow. Okay. You're able to like reach out and give this like overwhelming sense of calm. And Ika is soothed. They're still like kind of beating their wings a little hard against the tree, but they're not like bumping it. They're not like bum rushing the tree anymore.
Do I get since I got over 10, do I get that emotional support?
You also get to I would say that Ika kind of flutters over and like past your face, and you get this sense of like, this is supposed to be it. This is supposed to be where I'm needed. My people should be here.
Okay.
But you can get that. That you can pick your one. So clear a condition, mark XP, +1 forward, or gain insight.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear a condition.
Nice.
I'm gonna clear hopeless. I'm gonna clear hopeless.
I think hopeless makes sense. You're theoretically here, right? You've made significant progress to figuring out how to help Ika move on.
Okay. I guess I'll just look down at everybody and say, this is the tree, but I don't. Her people are missing. I don't know. I don't know what's missing.
Well, we've not yet used our translator services. Maybe we need to reach out with our hearts and see what's what. I mean, they said we would need a translator, and we haven't encountered anything yet that would require it. And since the translation we got was not what I expected, maybe that's a start.
Abigail, I will say that. Did you share kind of what the visions you had from Ika were with the rest of the group before? Did you carry on that intel?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless it was like super personal.
No, I think you got the sense that it wasn't anything incredibly personal. It was more just helpful context. And I think Ika is aware that like you all are helping, so they would want that information to be shared and to be useful. I think looking around, all of you kind of note that based on how Ika's like that dream vision was, that they most likely lived over back by that cliff, over on the other side of the cliff. The cliff was their entry point into this area with the tree.
Okay. Then I would have relayed that as well. I think we need to go to that cliff over there.
Okay.
Let's go.
And a reminder that this fruit was labeled as the kinky fruit by the dicks in their little lab, their notes from before.
Did we gather some?
I don't know. Have you gathered some?
I would try to gather some if I remembered that it was called the kinky fruit, because
Of course. And reminder that they call ghostly events kinks, but hey, you never know. Maybe they got this one right.
I just thought maybe to eat it with some of that tea, like we can go crazy.
It'll really elevate the experience. Do you want to are you just gonna like try and climb up there on your own and go grab some, or do you want to
Abigail, did you say you can float? Like, can you like up?
Yeah.
Would you grab some fruit for me? Would anybody else like some?
Sure. I'm gonna ask Ika though, if that's okay.
Yes, of course. Consent is important. We want to make sure that we are being respectful of their boundaries and their property.
Ika, I think, is in this weird state that they're just so hyper focused on the tree that you asking them that, it's kind of a confusing ask. If you want to like be able to read and like getting any information from them, you're going to have to do a figure person out.
Okay. My wit is terrible, but let's give it a try.
Did you get a 13 on that last time?
That was emotional support.
No.
I would say if you
Oh,
wanted
okay.
someone else to do the wit, you can.
My wit is great. I can do it.
I have
My-
good wit as well if you need it.
Would you like to roll, Sam? You haven't done much rolling today.
I can.
Yeah, you go ahead. Get it, girl.
All right.
Guy, them, all of you. We're all women. We're all lesbians. I don't know where I'm at.
That was a 9?
Mhm.
Alrighty, so I think you get 2 questions, and Ika gets 1.
What were we asking?
About the fruit, if it's okay to have some of the fruit.
Yes.
And
So I
then
guess
any
I-
other question you want. You can have
Yeah.
three questions.
So
So I think
An
how
e-
would you
an-
feel if we gathered some of the fruit? And what,
I think the best translation you're getting from Ika, because it's not just a language barrier, it's like a metaphysical spiritual barrier, is
Mhm.
that makes them nervous. They know that the fruit definitely has like spiritual powerful weight, and they don't know. They know that it's important, and they're not like, the hesitance isn't from a custom, it's from they are so desperate in this moment to get this figured out that, hey, let's try the fruit. Why not? I can't physically interact with it. Maybe you can. But you know that culturally they're very, very worried about that implication.
gotcha. What can we do to help you find your people? I think is the other question.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'd say this this question falls into the purview of what you're doing. And it's just kind of that like that sense of like, well, I live over there. Like it's this like it's a question answered from an older time when they were alive, and you get that sense that their people are over that cliff.
Okay. Well, Ika's nervous about us eating the fruit. Just nervous. There's not like a cultural taboo against it, but it's I'm gonna say until we know more, probably not recommended. And that clip is important. Their people are over there, so
Okay, well, you can always come back for the fruit.
Go to
Are there any on the ground?
Looking around, there's none on the ground. You see maybe a couple of like old husks, which is kind of weird. Like a peach is like a skinned fruit. When you go near it, you're seeing like an actual husk. Like there is like a coconut shell that on the outside looks like this gray, dim, like it loses its color when it's cracked open, and the inside must have had some sort of fleshy bit to it. It is completely hollowed out.
But no kind of seed or anything from it?
No seed or anything. Making your way, I assume y'all go up the cliffs to investigate what's going on.
Mhm.
It's not there's no survival checks or anything. This is all about people interpersonal. So you were right to say like, oh, we haven't talked to anyone. What about that translator power? Going up that cliff, you're able to scale the environment. Captain and Eustace are like, we'll stay with the ship. We'll mind the boat, and you all head over the cliff, looking down. The beauty of this little like tree valley is even greater, and continuing to move forward away, you quickly hear the sounds of drums and flutes and just people, and maybe half a mile away from this cliff's edge, you enter an area that is filled with life and activity. There are colorful tents and buildings built of wood, stacked tall and kind of like bending over and swaying with the breeze, but never actually toppling. It's exactly as it was pictured in that vision, Abigail. Just now you're seeing faces to all of those people that are running around. And they're all dressed in these sort of like large shawls and very like nicely colored, intense dyed fabrics. And a few of them stop and see you coming out of the tree line and just kind of look inquisitively at you. And one of them comes forward and speaks very softly, and you see their lips move, forming the words of their tongue, but you hear different words in your mind. Hello? Who are you?
Yes, we are here to return one of your own, and I gesture towards Ika.
And Ika is kind of like fluttering around nervously. The person that's run forward, they kind of like look strangely, as if they don't see anything. One of our own. We haven't been missing anyone.
Does the name Ika mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name. Are you sure they are of here?
We're very sure. But I don't. It's someone that's passed. Do you know someone who did go by that name before?
And the person kind of gives this like, oh, that. Now they're kind of understanding a little bit better. And they say, "Come, I think I know who you need to talk to." And they kind of lead you through this meandering streets. All of the passages here between the buildings are more circular and arced as they bend around these large encampments and these tents. And you go to a central tent with a large amount of like bones on the outside. They're not made in sort of this like warning, be afraid warrior style. It's more of like they've been fashioned into what we would think of like as dream catchers or as like little like step ladders. There's an artistic flair to how the bones have been styled, and they're all you can see when you get closer there's writing etched into them. You can even see a few musical instruments, mostly percussion, made from these bones. And going into the tent, the person sort of gestures, I think she'll be able to help.
Thank you.
And they point to a very an older woman. Her skin is heavy on her face and just sort of sagging a little bit, sort of dried from years of unmitigated sun exposure. Her hair is just big and huge, all this volume coming down, and she has like threads and beads and flowers and all of these ornaments threaded throughout her hair, as she is sitting in front of just the embers of what was a fire. And she looks up, and you can see this like strange joy in her face as she sees Ika fluttering, and Ika darts right towards her, and you can see her like catch her in both hands and just hold Ika. Daughter, child, found your way home. And that is where we're going to take a break, and we will see you what happens next time. We'll resume this journey into the mysterious lands of the Thicclands. But we need to do our end of session move.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Matt, 1 second. No scene.
No scene?
Is everybody feeling okay? Was any boundaries crossed, everybody, before Matt goes into this part where he asks us that? Was any boundaries? Everyone good with that?
No,
I think-
so good.
I think
Okay.
we're good. Yeah, we're
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Matt.
Billy really wants that XP.
Billy really is just hankering for it. Billy is doing a very good job of referencing something that happened before stream. Before we went live, there was a little interplay, a little in joke that was happening beforehand, and I promised an XP should, since we were all at the time, even though the game wasn't happening, we were actually using our safety protocols, and so I will say yes. You definitely check that mark. You get an XP for that. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Any PC confess their love. I mean, yes, and also yes. So I think it was actually across the board. I think
everybody did this time.
I think everyone did this time. I almost feel like I should award multiple XP, but just one. It's just one because I want some extra confessions of love coming up in the next one. I want to keep goading you to give me more of that juicy drama. Any PC struck a blow against oppression or de-escalated a violent situation. I'm not thinking of any.
I don't think so.
I will say that
getting Tal'tal on our side and using the slot of the dicks, I think, is kind of an underhanded blow. But I don't know if it's an out and out like win.
That's just good on so many levels.
It's just such a sentence. It's such a sentence. I will also say
I feel like we did that last time.
I think
I will say in this.
Oh, that's true.
I think a bunch of lesbians making out is a blow to the turfs and the homophobes.
God damn it!
I like that, and what I also like is that in the scene with Osoda, you didn't like immediately like intruder and like go for the attack. You did listen to him out, and I think that all counts. So mark another XP for that.
Lay it on us, man. Keep going.
And then any player used. Oh, we already did the any player used the safety stuff because we did that with beforehand. Any PC leapt into danger with daring and panache. There wasn't a lot of danger this episode, so I'm gonna hold off on that one. But don't worry, there's lots of danger coming up. Lots of danger and intrigue and juiciness. It's going to be a good time.
Would you say it's even going to be moist?
It might just get moist.
I don't like it.
God damn it.
I do not like it.
You don't like it? No?
I'm going to use my consent.
Thank you, Danny.
I'm gonna red flag really quick. Just like
we'll red flag that word. We'll add it to We're gonna add that to the list of lines. Sorry, the M word is now a line. Sorry about that.
Really pronounce that M though, because otherwise it's a different conversation.
Mancy. M as in Mancy. Alrighty.
Oh my god.
Thanks again for everyone coming out, watching us. Thanks for joining us, and we are going to have another excellent time next week. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Next week? 2 weeks from now?
No, 2 weeks. I am very sorry. 2 weeks from now.
Oh.
2 weeks we'll be returning to the land of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I know.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Now
I
you
bait and
always
switched
say
all of you.
Next week is my birthday.
That's how that works.
Okay.
That's definitely how that works. Yep,
It's definitely how that works, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Water's getting warm. We might as well swim. Let's stay thirsty. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Everybody.